Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross.
Hi, hello, hey, hi.
I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes.
Hi everyone, it's Nicola here and I'm coming to you from inside the house today because it's just quieter in here today. Yeah, it's been a great week. I've had a really good time. Sarah and Vzine went home yesterday on the bus to Kalamata Airport. That was a bit brave of them. And they've arrived safely in the UK, which is very cool. Yeah, I'm getting used to being on my own again, which is quite a weird feeling. And I woke up, especially early this morning, just about 5 to 5, with an idea for a new funnel for my own marketing. So I lay there for a little while. I listened to some More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast with Dean Jackson and Frank Kern, which only got me fired up even more. So I just ended up getting up and putting it all into action. Just been interviewed by Shane Spears for Summit Leaders, and I've just got to finish this Vzine recording and get it off to Phoebe so she can edit it as quickly as possible for me. I've got a long bit in the middle today for you. I interviewed Kate Cocker, who is the presenter coach and who I've been working with on Be Everywhere Online for the last 12 weeks. And we had quite a good chat on a balcony, because she's out here actually, and we had a good chat on her mother-in-law's balcony yesterday, so you'll see that in a minute. Hope you're having a good week and I'll talk to you soon. Right, I'm back on another balcony, a different balcony.
Balcony
Steph's
too.
balcony, and Steph and Christopher. And this is Kate Cocker, and
Hi.
I've been working with Kate, as you may know, on the 12-week challenge, Be Everywhere Online 12-week challenge. And Kate is a
Presenter coach.
and we can find you at thepresentercoach.co.uk,
Yeah.
can't we? So I thought it'd be nice to talk to Kate a bit about, you know, the kind of, she's a young mum and she's very busy and she's had an illustrious career in radio, which she'll tell you a little bit about in a minute. But the one thing that I really wanted to get out of her was what kind of psychological obstacles she's had to overcome as an entrepreneur, and also the kind of hurdles that her clients face as presenters on radio and podcasts and all that stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, were you in a sort of paid employee work environment for a long time?
Yes. Well, I did. I was paid. Then I did freelance for a bit and set up a company with a friend that we did this type of thing, this presenter coaching type of thing. And then I got a call, which was an opportunity. I thought, I should not turn this down. I'll go and do this for a couple of years, climb to the top of the mountain and see what it's like. And that was a full-time, paid, high-pressure job. Did it like 2 years and went, this mountain is rubbish.
It's not worth climbing in the first place.
I really don't like it. Tiny breakdown. And decided that, you know, actually what I wanted to do was, what I loved about the years when I had the babies actually was that I'd worked for myself. And yes, it was freelance, and yes, I'd managed to pick up a few solid days a week, and yes, I'd run this company, but probably not pushed as much on it as I thought as possibly I could have done. So yeah, when I left, I was like, I know exactly where I want to be. I know I want to be working for myself and moving that forward. So,
and what kind of internal self-talk did you have to overcome? Were there any sort of particular things that freaked you out, or did you have any confidence issues, or are you completely gung ho?
No, interestingly, because I'd done it before, in terms of setting up the presenter coach, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And the reason I called it the presenter coach was because I was like, I want it to do what it says on the tin. And if Joe Wicks can do the body coach, I could do the presenter coach, and everyone will get it. What I was really aware of, because my background was radio, and one of the challenges I'd found when I'd run the business with my friend before was that actually there are this many people in the world who want to be radio presenters. Okay. But actually, if you take all of the things that I know how to get the best out of radio presenters and apply that to, you know, everyone talks for a living, right? Yeah. So everyone sits in meetings all the way through to presenting on stage or online, and I saw Gary Vee. That was when I came across Gary Vee, your favourite, and I was like, oh my God, like this guy has had no broadcast training whatsoever, and look at his audience, and look at his numbers, and look at his charisma, and look what he's able to achieve. I'm like, that's where business is going. What if I'm the person that people come to and say, right, I want to do this, how do I be good on screen? So the bit where I got nervous was, here's the bit that I know, which is radio. How much about business do I actually know? How much when I'm able to speak to presenters and understand what a studio is like, actually my nerves around, okay, well, standing on stage, I know I'm confident with it and I really love doing it. But actually, you know, I speak to you and I'm like, you've done hundreds of stood up on stage and done it hundreds of times, and I'm going to sell myself to you and go, I can help you with that. You know, and that's where I got the nerves, because I still have that. I kind of hit a year in, and what I've chosen to do is actually get a bit more experience in that. So a bit more on stage talking, a bit more business experience, a bit more helping people, coaching people with communication off air almost. I was thinking about doing an MA. You always say this to me, you're like, don't go get a qualification, you're already qualified, you've got the experience. And I was like, actually, I got offered this really good 3-day-a-week gig where I got to do a bit of creativity, but the main purpose of me being there is to coach them. It's in radio and it's off air. So actually I'm working with 5 people for the next year in communicating on email with people that they have to deal with all the time, and communicating in meetings and standing on stage, and you know, they've all got presentations to do, you know, and that to me says at the end of that year I've got this amazing set of experience and a portfolio, and I've gone through the mill a little bit, and that gives me a bit more, I don't know, I think it's when you say there's that barrier, it's confidence comes from applying something and knowing that you're okay, really, doesn't it? And I think that's what I'm searching for, is just like, absolutely I know I'm okay and I can go and stand in front of a business leaders and go, I totally can help you. Like, I know I can now,
and you don't
but to
need
be able
to
to have those stories.
I mean, you don't need to know how their business works to be able to teach them how to be better on stage. I'm really lucky. I mean, I got invited to speak. I think my first big speaking gig was at a very posh country house hotel to, I think it was about 500 accountants, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. It's all coming back to me now. I'd done stuff like, but I'd done 2 years of BNI, standing up and saying what your business is for a minute every week. That really you get over the nerves quite fast when you have to do that, and you have to be really succinct. And then occasionally you get to do a 10-minute slot, and I'd done quite a lot of, you know, online audio was coming in by then, video hadn't come yet, but I went and did that talk, and I think it's because my sister's a singer. I think I don't have the stage fright gene.
Yeah, I know, the music, because I played music as a kid on stage, and I had a client in the last year who's a musician, and she was really struggling with speaking on stage, but could obviously just play the cello like this, you know. And actually, musical performance, I think, is really underrated for kids, because actually it gives you a lot of power on stage and a lot of understanding. I remember playing the flute with my kneecaps fully shaking, like detached from my body, shaking, and having to go through that experience. And I imagine that if you've not had the opportunity to sing in front of people or play an instrument in front of people or do anything like that, where you're sharing yourself in a really vulnerable position, you come to being in business and you've got to present to the board and you're like, oh God, how do I do that? That's, you know, that's
it's
a really out of
intimate.
body experience.
Heather says she'd rather sing to, and she does sing to Sydney Opera House, Carnegie Hall, you know, La Scala, Milan, but she finds it harder to sing at a local jazz club. Because everybody's in the audience. Phoebe, my daughter, makes me laugh. I said, I've got this workshop on Christmas, New Year, going to come and film behind the scenes, and you might have to give a little talk. She said, Mum, I will happily put a video of me putting ridiculous makeup on YouTube, but there's no way on the planet I'm going to give a talk to a room full of people. I just couldn't do it. So
my friend does a singing class, and one of the things to get her over the nerves is her singing teacher told her to sing to her husband, so she had to hold his hands and look directly into his eyes and sing to him. They were both extremely moved, but she said it really helped with the nerves, because it's that complete intimacy. I remember I had a presenter, Nimone won't mind me saying, Nimone on radio, she used to be on Radio 1, she was on Six Music. When we worked together, we spent complete eye contact across the desk. It was incredible. It's like you don't quite know what to do with yourself. It's really uncomfortable, but at the same time, but it gave her that ability to really talk to someone in the room and actually have that conversation. But we would be transfixed.
Because that's really amazing. Isn't it? It's about trying to make it feel so we're not, you know, we're talking to one person on the other side of the camera.
Absolutely.
And
all
that
the way
connection,
through the lens.
Yes, that connection with you.
looking through. And
I do get some amazing comments on YouTube. It's quite fascinating. So, you know, it's very cool to do it, and it's so important now because people just connect with people, and we're getting so used to watching videos of people, and television's really trained us all to want to watch pictures. pictures.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Although the spoken word audio can be really intimate, meanwhile.
Oh yeah,
the
it
whole
is.
podcast thing.
So I really love it, and podcast is growing. Okay, so for me,
Yeah.
so you asked me if I had any personal ones. I have that massive paradox thing, which is you're a presenter coach and you're coaching people to go out there and be really confident, and then we're going to stick a camera on you and get you to do something, and you're just, and I think
you did
it's
so well when you went into.
I know I do really enjoy it, and ultimately I really enjoy it. I think it's I could do that all day to myself, but actually pressing go and off you go out into the world, and you don't know what the response is going to be.
Yeah.
And all the time I'm coaching presenters around that issue, and you kind of that was a really, I think it's like doctors who don't actually get their health checked, or it's counsellors need counsellors, don't they? It's it's all. There is a lot of that goes on where you're doing that one-to-one service, that one-to-one coaching, but actually, all the self-help gurus who can't look after themselves. It's a real cliche, really. But it has been. I've loved doing the camera work, and I've loved pressing go and having that feedback, and actually. There have been a couple of negative, but not bothered.
Yeah, not bothered.
Not bothered.
You have to not worry about the haters.
I know.
Yeah.
Once some guy yesterday, have you seen one of the comments on one of the videos said, thanks for, the comment says, thanks for letting me join your sales funnel. And I really wanted to go, you're welcome.
Thank you for your valued feedback.
Thank you for your valued feedback. But, I'm like, well, actually, I'll just gather them up and start reading them out as content eventually.
Yeah,
exactly. But I've had
exactly.
two, so it's nothing bad, really.
Yeah, it's and people are always haters gonna hate. People who don't actually do the thing themselves.
Yeah.
Those are the people you shouldn't listen to. There's a big Brené Brown YouTube video that you should watch if you're feeling worried about people like that, because people will criticise, and it's always the people who aren't doing what you're doing.
The people, it's the I can never remember the president. Is it Roosevelt or is it Edison? I can't remember. There's a quote about only people you're allowed to take criticism from are the people who are stood in the arena with you.
That's right.
Face down, basically, and have struggled and have done what you've done. And I always say that to the presenters, because presenters, they can see the text screens. Yeah. So when all these texts come in, they can get 20 amazing ones, and one person will go, God, you sound like a buffoon today.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that anyway, right? And I have to go, look, the only person that you can take criticism from is maybe a peer, or maybe
someone ahead of you,
or whatever. The listeners, they don't even realise you're a human. So don't worry about it. But and the other thing that Brené says, which I love, is that actually there's a formula for judgment, and judgment often reveals what people are really insecure about in themselves.
Yes.
And you can figure that for yourself. That I think, and that's why parenting is such a bit of a minefield, because everyone's so worried that they're not doing it right, that when someone else isn't, they kind of go, well, look at me, I don't like that. And judgment is rife in that area.
Absolutely, I remember that.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've banged on a little bit too much longer for the Vzine.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good content. It's all good content. So thank you very much.
No,
and
you're welcome.
where do we find you?
Thepresentercoach.co.uk, and I've got a Facebook group, The Presenter Coach, Kate Cocker.
Kate Cocker.
Facebook page, sorry.
Thank you very much, Kate Cocker. See you soon. Okay, so on the blog and the podcast on the Vzine this week, we've got Own It, episode 154, which is online marketing for a real world business. Philip contacted us and he said he's got a franchise and he wanted to know how he could better utilise his marketing dollars for it. So Judith and I waded in and we gave him some really good advice. I hope you think that, Phil. And you can find that at ownitthepodcast.com/154. On the Vzine this week, I'm joined by Suzanne Jorgensen, who is a qualified psychologist, and she and I were talking about rewards and delayed gratification. Why people sometimes don't do the things they need to do, they know they need to do in order to move themselves forward, why they sabotage themselves in effect. You can see that on the Vzine episode 39, so do go and check that out. That's it, that's me done. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Kate Cocker, and I'll speak to you next week.